Hello and welcome to another book review. Today about the book The Mary Rose, King Henry VIII's warship from 1510 to 1545. This book is part of the Haynes Owner Workshop Manual series, which was originally started to give people information on how to fix their own motorcycle or car themselves. But later on, Haynes also started to publish books in the same style about airplanes, tanks, spaceships and ships, which give a nice little overview about the history and technical details of those vehicles. So today we're going to have a look at that book about the Mary Rose. Let's start with the basic data on the book. You already know the title of the book, and it was authored by Brian Lavery, or at least the book says that he can claim to be the author, whatever that means. Also, there were apparently many other contributors, and the Mary Rose Trust helped a lot with doing this book or putting this book together. It was published in 2015 by Haynes Publishing, what a surprise, in English. And yeah, it's got dimensions wise, it's about as big as an A4 paper. It is a hardcover, and I think the quality is pretty good. The prices that I've seen online range from about £8 to some in the UK to some €39 here in Germany post-Brexit. It has got 156 pages with a lot of pictures and diagrams. Now let's have a look at the content of the book. The book starts gives a nice overview about all things Mary Rose. It starts with the story of the life of the Mary Rose in the service of King Henry VIII. So the history and operational history of the ship. After that, the next chapter is about the anatomy of the Mary Rose. So the hull, the construction methods employed, the masts and other topics relating to that. After that, it is about, or the book deals with the crew of the Mary Rose. So the different groups of people that served and sailed on her, like the sailors, the soldiers, and also some specialist groups like the doctors. The next chapter then is about sailing, or actually sailing the Mary Rose, and has many different aspects to it, like how the rigging worked and so on. Then the book talks about actually fighting the Mary Rose, because the Mary Rose was a purpose-built warship. So it's about the cannons and what the soldiers had for weapons. And then it goes forth. Then the book goes forth. Talking about how the Mary Rose was actually recovered and or found and later recovered. After it was recovered, it was a big job to actually conserve her and then put her on display, and that is what the last chapter of the book deals with. Before the book is rounded off by an appendix with a plan of the museum or the new museum, and a bibliography with all the sources which were used in the book, which of course provides a nice little list of books that you can look to for more information on the topic. If I have to think about positive and negative aspects of the book, I can really only think of positive aspects, and those are that I think it is presented in an accessible and nicely written manner. It's good to read, easy to read. The book really manages to bring the entire ship to life. Not only the hull, not only the masts, the rigging, or whatever, and the technical details, but also, and that is I think the most important part, the crew. because with the Mary Rose, a lot of people went down, and a lot of personal effects and tools were found, and by showing them, by reconstructing some of the faces of the people aboard, the Mary Rose book, the Haynes Manual, manages to bring them to life and to really get a human connection going with those people. All rounded off by many very nice illustrations and pictures that further help bringing the ship and the people to life. I think the book really is something for people who have an above average interest in the Mary Rose, but don't want to go for real specialist work, like a 500-page book just on the Mary Rose. It's a good entry book for people who are interested, maybe people who want to go to the museum. So if you want to have a nice little round introduction to the Mary Rose and maybe ships of that period in general, or warships in that period in general, then this is a good book for you. But also, if you are an expert on the topic, you will find many interesting diagrams and illustrations in this book, which I think also merit the, at least in the UK, relatively low price you have to pay for it. So final verdict, if you belong into the groups that I just mentioned, if you are interested in the things that I just mentioned, then I think that you can buy this book, and it will be a good buy for you. It will provide information for you and interesting little nuggets of information. Now, for further reading, if you want to go deeper into that topic of shipping in the period, then I can recommend the third installment, I think, in the Conway's History of the Ship series, which I've already read but not done a video on yet. That is Cocks, Caravels and Galleons, which goes a lot more into detail on building techniques, ship types, and so on in that period. Also, I can very much recommend a visit to the Portsmouth Historic Dockyard, which is a place where the remnants of the Mary Rose are presented very well and very nicely in a new and modern museum. And yeah, I've been there. Very nice trip, very interesting. You can also visit the Victory and the HMS Warrior there. And so it should be a nice day out, or days out, I guess, for the entire family, if you like. So I hope you've liked my little review of this book. Have a nice day. Have fun reading. Goodbye.